It's Live with Kelly and Ryan. Today, Academy Award winner J.K. Simmons. And from Orange is the New Black, Danielle Brooks. Plus, save time, save money. Learn how to hack my life. All next on Live. And now, here are Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest.
Thank you all very much on this Monday, August 20th. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How you doing? The good news is it'll be cold soon.
I don't like it. I don't like cold. We know this.
Holidays will be here before you know it.
You know what I find weird is that when it gets cold outside, they turn the air conditioning on in here, which I find fascinating. And I go, why is it so cold in here? It's cold outside. And they go, well, people are wearing their coats.
They told me they play a game to see how long it takes you to figure it out.
It's bizarre. I put heaters on in my room, and I dismantled illegally that air conditioning unit that blasts cold air in my room, and I couldn't figure out how to dismantle it, so then I just taped a cue card over the air duct.
And that did it?
Yeah. And I'm freezing. I'm like, I can't be in here. And they're like, time to change your clothes. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Put the dress on over the sweatsuit.
Just like a New Yorker, we have to complain about everything, right?
Yes, exactly. That's why I live here, sweetie.
So, is there one of Kelly's things, you know, you get to know somebody as your work wife and they have their things, and one of her things, whether it be in text or in person, is, and you kind of know you've made a mistake when the response is, oh, sweetie.
But it's not from me. It comes from Andy Cohen.
Okay, well,
and
good to know.
Andy Cohen got it from somebody else who got it from somebody else.
Well,
and I'm not at liberty to discuss the originator of the "Oh, sweetie," but we all now say it. When you make a mistake, the response is, oh, sweetie.
And it's a deep growl.
Yes.
But, and I moved, right? I lived close to her. I moved downtown. I said, Kelly, great news. I've just got a place. It's downtown. Oh, sweetie.
Remember your In My Feelings challenge? I posted it on social media. I was like, oh, sweetie. And occasionally it can be,
that was a dance. It was a dance.
Sweetie, no.
But you know, just when you think you did it right, then you get that response and realize, no.
Yeah. Once in a while, I'll give Gelman just a curt sweetie. Just plain old sweetie. Sweetie.
Oh, yeah, that's the meanest one.
That's
yeah,
the meanest one.
That's the sharp one?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The kindest cut is sweetie, period. Oh. With a period.
So the deep growl is with love.
Yeah. It's more like with sorrow. Anyway, so do you remember your first memory?
Wait, do I remember my first memory? Sounds like a trick.
No. What is your first memory?
Of what?
Your earliest memory in your life. Can you think back? Can you hearken back to baby Ryan Seacrest? I'm sure in some bizarre way it's going to revolve around a first meal.
I did see 3 cheese enchiladas at one point when you asked me the question, but it wasn't my first memory.
It's the first memory of today. Sweet.
Oh, sweet. I can't remember. I mean, I see pictures of me as a toddler, which I think instigates a memory.
Right, right. Well, I was saying to Gelman backstage that I recall, and then Gelman promptly told me I was wrong because he's an expert on memories as well. But
just reading the article.
Right. So I remember when I was 2.5, my sister was born. I don't remember her being born, but I remember being in a taxi cab, because I had never been in a taxi cab before, going to what I thought at the time I believe was an airport, but I think maybe it was a hospital with my grandmother.
Right, I can see the confusion.
Right?
Yeah.
And my parents, and my parents were like, no, why would you be in a taxi cab? But then my dad remembered, yes, we would have been in a taxi cab because they were at the hospital with the car, and my grandmother would have had to get me there. Somehow, taxi cab, right? But Gelman says that 40% of people, and he's lumping me in with 40%. I always think of myself as more of the 60% side, but Gelman has lumped me into the 40%.
He puts you in the minority.
He says that I'm making up my first memory.
Yeah,
I've just made that randomly up. Yeah. They're saying you really don't remember anything concretely until you're about 3.5 years old. But I want to remind you that as a 2.5-year-old, I was very much like a 3.5.
Like a genius.
Yeah,
you're a genius.
She's a savant when it comes to memory.
Sweetie,
well, I'm sure you don't.
Sweetie, these are the facts.
Article. Yes,
these are the facts. But they're saying a lot of people's memories are patchworks based on fragments, shared experiences, listening to people talk about memories, and photographs. So a lot of it is that kind of thing, family folklore.
I can see, because there's a photograph that, I don't know where I see it every now and then. There's like a rerun in my head. It must be when I go home to where I grew up. There's a photo of me wearing, like, you know, a little baby jumpsuit, and it's like a Sears picture.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And my feet are up.
Yeah.
And
you're
my
like this,
knees are.
and you're like this.
Yeah, exactly. And your knees are, you know, chubby and like and I think to myself, God, who let me out of the house like that? But I don't think I had that thought then.
Right. Right. You weren't sitting there going, who let me out of the house like this?
Right. Correct. Correct. But I do remember my sister when she was like, but I was a little bit older than 3.5.
Yeah.
So the picture instigates the memory.
No, but we didn't have, like, we don't have pictures of that. We don't have any pictures. There's nothing to spark my memory. I just remember something big was going on. It was more of a feeling. It was like something big was happening because I was in this mystery car going to this mystery place. That's the only reason that I say I have that memory, because it struck me as so out of, like, the mundane of my life at that point, which was, I believe, just kind of waiting around to be fed. You know what I mean? When you're 2.5, that's pretty much your day, feeding time.
Speaking of feeding time, this is earth-shattering and unbelievable.
Okay.
I guess it explains why we just can't say no to bread. Why we love, as human beings, why we crave. If it's warm and you see it and it's offered and it's in a basket and it's free, why we love bread. There's a reason why.
Yes, why?
The remains of bread baked 14,400 years ago were found in Jordan. It was a flatbread, I'm going to say a pita type bread. It was discovered years before farming was discovered. So I don't know.
Bread predates
farming.
Farming.
Yeah.
Wild grains, I guess.
I love wild grains. But think about this. This is pre-preservatives, and bread's hanging around for 14,000 years.
14,400 years.
So there's a reason that they